welcome to my kitchen. This messy place. The other day I opened up a bag of these chips to use in a recipe, and I took just a few of them out of this bag. So I'm going to use up the rest of them now. And there was a recipe on the back of the bag, peanut butter chocolate cookies, and I thought I can do that. I don't think I've ever made this recipe on the back of this Reese's Pieces peanut butter chips before, but I'm a fixin' to, and I bet they're good. We're going to find out. What we're going to start by doing, let's start by mixing our dry ingredients, and it says it wants a cup of flour, I've done read over this recipe, and let me tell you, the writing was so little that my old eyes had to strain to see it. And 6 tablespoons of cocoa. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's empty. I'm pretty sure I got another one, but you know, I think I'm going to cut it on my grocery list anyway, because 2 is 1 and 1 is none. And it's 1/4 of a teaspoon of salt and 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda. We're just going to whisk that up a little bit there. And I'm not going to put these in the regular oven. I'm going to try baking these in the toaster oven again. What do we want now? We want to, in this bowl, big bowl, we're going to put a cup of sugar. Just put the butter, 2/3 of a cup of butter. This is some of my homemade butter. And I had it in the freezer, so I kind of had to thaw it out. And I didn't really have it measured. Maybe when I put it in the freezer, I ought to measure it. That way I kind of know how much it is. Get the mixer over here. Now I'm going to mix it. Hold on. It's going to be loud for a minute. Bring it up. Now I'm going to add this green egg. I already cracked it, remember? And a teaspoon of homemade vanilla. Put the lid back on there. Now we're going to beat that up. I'll go fast. All creamed up. You got a big spoon, this big spoon right here, and we're going to add our flour and cocoa, salt, and baking soda. Stir that in. You all know, if you've watched my videos, I stir like that. When something gets hard, I just put a little elbow grease into it and stir it up. And it's stirred into this our chocolate cookie dough, and we're going to add these peanut butter chips. Reese's peanut butter chips, and we're making peanut butter chocolate cookies. Drop one. Now, looks a pretty good looking dough. Now, I'm putting them in the little toaster oven, so I've prepared just a little bitty pan here. And I don't know how many cookies I can get on that little pan. Let me get you a couple spoons. not gonna make them too big because my pan's little. 1. I'm just kind of against turning on that oven when it's hot. But I do like to cook and eat. So that can be a dilemma in the summertime. 2, 3, 4. I think I'm gonna put 6 on there. I think I'll put half a dozen. There, I've got 6 on there, and I'm going to put them into this oven, which I've had it turned on and set it to 350. So we're going to see how that does. I've been putting these out on this cookie sheet to put in the freezer, and after they're frozen, then I will bag them up and can take out just a few little cookie dough balls and bake them. But I'm fixing to check the cookies over in the toaster oven to see how they're baking. I don't think in all my years I've ever baked cookies in the toaster oven, but I did today, just because it's hot. So I'm going to set this aside, and I'll finish that in just a minute, but I'm going to grab these cookies. Looky there. 6 little cookies, and they look just pretty good. Let's take some of them off so they can be cooled so we can try one. I probably ought to let it cool on the pan. But for video purposes, I'm going to go ahead and take them off. So I can eat one of them. I'm going to shut that door and turn that off. And I have moved it where it's not going to fall off the counter. It's too hot. Let me put a few more cookies on here. Because you can freeze these cookies like this and bake them. And I usually put them in a cold oven and turn the oven on, and they thaw out while they just thaw out. It has the oven is coming up to temperature, and it makes it just work out just real good. Alright, let me see if I can try one now. That one I broke. But look, that's a good looking cookie. That's good too. It's the whole thing. The recipe on the back of the Reese's peanut butter chips is a good recipe, so I'd recommend it. I'm going to keep putting these in the freezer, and I'm not going to make any more right now because I know if I make them, I'll keep eating them. And I need to go on a diet. After I eat a little bit. Bye. Love y'all.